second pillar in our blueprint is stabilizing the economy. Now, here we talk about 4 components. One is the debt crisis management. The second is the monetary and exchange rate policy. Third is revenue consolidation. And the fourth is expenditure control. Now, the first issue in the short term is to somehow get an agreement with our creditors on a way out, because we are bankrupt and we cannot borrow a red cent from anyone until we have a game plan to sustain our debt. So in order to do that, discussions must happen with the IMF and the creditors based on what you call a debt sustainability analysis study that was conducted with the IMF and the Treasury and the Central Bank. Now, if we are able to agree on a roadmap for the next 5 to 10 years, then we can once again win back the confidence of the debt market globally and finally get back to business. Now, what is important to do that is to have an economic reform agenda. Now, the reform agenda has 2 major components. One is the revenue consolidation. In terms of revenue, the government's main revenue is taxes. We all know that. So we need to increase taxes. Currently, our taxes are at around 8% of GDP. It needs to, over a number of years into the future, must go to 20% of GDP. Now, in the short to medium term, how do we do this? Say going up to 13 or 14%. So there, taxes must be just. You can't just tax everybody and anybody. You have to have some sort of equity in taxes. So in that sense, while we are proposing increased revenue by expanding the tax net, there are certain issues that we disagree with the current program, and that is, for instance, the highest marginal tax bracket of 36% coming into force at 308,000 rupees a month. We are not in agreement with that. We believe that we can go up to about 500,000 rupees a month, and the calculations have been done. There are many alternatives where you can hold these professionals at around 24 to 25% tax. However, in order to do that, we will have to at least temporarily increase the highest marginal tax bracket to 39 or 40% for the highest income earner. And that is how we can bring back a sense of equitable taxing for the short to medium term. Then the second component is expenditure control. So rationalizing public expenditure is a serious point that we have discussed here. And state-owned enterprise reform. I mean, surely we don't need to hold on to 300-400 state-owned enterprises creating almost $1 trillion of cumulated losses over a period of time. Do we really need to hold the ownership control of Sri Lankan Airlines? Do we really need to do that? Does the government, have any expertise in running hotels, golf courses, tourist villas? Why should the government own the 80 club? What has the government investment been in the 80 club, right? I mean, these are questions that have answers in our blueprint. In monetary and exchange rate policy, we agree completely with what the central bank had to do, and that is the central bank had to jack up policy rates and stop printing money. That had to be done. It was a shock treatment that took interest rates to 30% plus in the market. Now, by doing that, the central bank has been able to stabilize the markets to some extent, to a great extent, and we commend them for doing that. But the fallout of that is, at these rates, small businesses, big businesses are finding it extremely difficult to carry on as normal. Jobs are lost, companies are shutting down, but that is our next pillar. How do we convert this shrinking economy into a growing economy? How do you start creating jobs again? So that's the next one.